Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely, and I'm here with Alan Barker, who is the owner with partners, sort of, or just
By myself.
by
Originally, it
yourself.
started with a partner. He left after a couple years, so sole owner for almost 12 years now.
Of a little company called Infinite Discs. And I'm here in Logan, Utah at the Infinite Discs headquarters. We are in the pro shop right now, and I was really excited. We came so far out of our way just to meet you and see the store and see everything. You guys are would you call yourself one of the largest vendors, or
Yep.
do you
Yeah.
make any claims
I,
beyond that?
I would say we're the largest from everybody I've talked to. So yeah, I mean we have more brands than anybody else. Our online inventory is huge, and well, we have lots of surplus discs. So yeah, we've made that claim for about 7 years now. So somebody will probably take us over eventually, but for now we'll stay on the top.
All right, well, that's what I want to talk to you about because my life has been as an entrepreneur, and I do a lot of consulting with entrepreneurs, and I love stories of people who, I mean, you did this grassroots. I mean, you started like anyone else has the ability to start and built organically to a large extent.
Yeah, yeah. No, originally when it started, I had no intention of ever making a living playing disc golf. Or of a business disc golf. It was simply, hey, side project is an excuse to buy and try all sorts of different discs because, it's a lot easier to justify, oh, I'm earning money by buying all these discs, not just buying them because I'm obsessed with disc golf. So that's really what it started at.
And this is, this is a great lesson for entrepreneurs when it starts with a love of the thing you're doing. Like Harold, Dave, and Tim Selinsky and Jim Kenner loved playing frisbee. They were, I mean, that's a reason why they become successful because it's not just business. So you were also a golfer. How long were you playing before?
Yeah, no, only about 6 months really. I'd played
So
like
you were,
20 years ago, but they built a course just here locally in Providence, Utah, that right by my in-laws' house. So I started playing regularly and got kind of addicted and discovered that, wow, there's more than just a driver, a putter, and a mid-range. And that's when I reached out and wanted to try every disc. It started out as a review blog, actually, where I would test all these different discs and review them. And uh, then I decided to monetize it.
and you started selling online, or were you vending in person at first?
Yeah, no, it was all online at first. I didn't have any background in disc golf or tournaments or local vending, but my background was in internet marketing. And so that's where that was easy for me to transition the blog into an e-commerce website.
And you just were doing your shipping, warehousing, everything yourself. I mean, well, probably quotes on warehousing. What was the first warehouse?
Yeah, exactly. The first warehouse was a little space of an office building just about 4 blocks north of here. And the way we had it, so I had a different business that was using that, and there was just an empty room upstairs. We weren't even like leasing the empty room, but we just, hey, let's just, nobody else was using it, so we put our discs in. Eventually, the landlord found out we were using it, so we just paid rent for that room, and then it grew to a second room and a third and a fourth, and then finally we built this warehouse here because I don't even know how we operated out of that at the end because we had, I think, close to 30,000 discs all on the second floor of like some office building. So it was probably against all sorts of codes.
Yeah, you hired young people to carry them up and downstairs.
Yeah, yeah. And the mailman loved our pickups.
What's funny is you basically start out of your garage. The office version of a garage would be the office room that isn't being used, but that's basically office garage.
Yeah, oh, exactly.
I love that. All right, so you started off. Well, how did you get people to find your store? Because I mean, it's competitive. I mean, it's
Yeah.
more now, but I mean, even then, like, how did you not be invisible?
No, that was our advantage because at the time, the online disc golf market, it was not very competitive.
Really?
There were people with web stores, but not that knew anything about search engine optimization, which was my area of expertise. And so previously, I helped real estate companies optimize their websites. And so disc golf was really easy compared to a much more competitive real estate field. So that's that's what happened. We owned the search engines for disc golf related terms, so it was pretty quick to get traffic.
So do you know that that was my background as well?
No.
I had two of the first disc golf stores in the world, the D store and Disc Devil, which I made uh, just Discraft exclusive stores, which basically would be what, well, it could have been had I not left disc golf for 13 years, their factory store because I sold all
Blew
Discraft.
that one.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Thanks for emphatically reminding my audience that this is why I'm not wealthy right now. But no, that's where it started. I mean, there were a few online stores before me, but not many. And my background was in SEO and internet marketing. And I got out of it because you probably are aware of this, is that back in like early 2000s, in the short term anyways, there was far more money marketing things besides golf disc
Oh yeah.
back then, especially in 2000. And so I decided that I could make far more money, which I did for a little bit of time, but I let the disc thing fall. So you're welcome for opening the door for
Hey, I
me.
appreciate that. Timing worked for us.
No problem. So, okay, that was 2012. You
Yep.
started, you were up and jamming by like 2013 or
Yeah.
14. It was pretty quick.
Yeah. So end of 2013, holiday rush, Black Friday sales was when I kind of realized that, oh, this I have potential to make a living at this. This I can bring in money. So that's when I quit my other business essentially and went full time into disc golf, kind of beginning in 2014.
How
Took
many
a couple years before I was ever able to pay myself, but
how many employees did you have when you were just getting off the
it
ground?
was me and a partner for that
For real?
first year, and then we got a couple of interns. But it was a few years before we had more than four employees.
Now, there was a point, and you need to, I was away from the sport. So, I mean, some of this is just
Yeah, yeah.
hearsay.
I was there when you were gone.
Yeah. And there was a point. Well, let me give a little bit of history. Back in the late 90s and 2000, you you couldn't even buy a disc based on color
Right.
because if you took the time to add another color to your the parameters you could add, the next order comes in and the manufacturer was out of that color, and it was just you couldn't do exact weights. You had to do weight categories. I mean, we had three weight categories, basically high 60s, low 70s, mid 70s, but no one else did either. So it was really easy because you didn't get to choose soft, gummy, domey, color, certainly not hot stamp. Now you fast forward about 15 years, and all of a sudden, every disc is being individually to the gram, to the color, to the hot stamp foil.
Yep.
That was that mostly you guys, or was that you?
Yeah, no, that was so originally our website was WordPress and which isn't made to be an e-commerce website.
Hmm.
And so we really focused on we would have the weight of the discs, but people wanted that exact picture. And so that's when we decided to build a totally custom website designed just for disc golf to give disc golfers those exact things. And so at the time, I think we were the first that had that pictures of every disc, and that was a huge
Yeah.
competitive advantage, which really helped us to take off.
And I really want to ask you about that because, but first I will tell you something that we did cutting edge. We had a category that we introduced on our sites called not black. So we offered two color choices, which was
Bright.
no, which is disc, but not black, which was like leagues ahead of our competition because no one else even offered not black. So the exact opposite. So, okay, it's a competitive advantage. It is also a whole different business model, the amount of time and
Yeah.
work and effort. But to my knowledge, you didn't like jack the prices up an extra $2 a disc because of the labor involved. How did you make that decision? Because clearly you took on a major cost.
Yeah. It was a gamble we took, a risk we took, and we were like, well, it really doesn't take that much longer to take the picture once we got our systems down. But I don't know why, but it worked, and we're glad we did.
But you basically what you did, which was, I mean, okay, like in good ideas in hindsight, business ideas they're obvious. but at the time it couldn't have been obvious. You said you knew it was a risk.
Yeah.
You created a much higher barrier to entry to the competition. You could no longer be a part-time vendor and compete against Infinite. I mean, you could be, but that would be like you couldn't do it part-time. I mean, that's a from a business perspective. As an entrepreneur, I'm like, bravo. If I was a competitor, I'd be like, damn you, Infinite. Did you feel like that was happening? Like that
Oh, yeah.
you changed the landscape?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Man, everything about that, I just, I just absolutely love and hate at the same moment. Well, no. Do you think that you basically tapped into a demand that was already there that no one was servicing? Or do you feel like by doing this, you now created the demand? Were there people out there that never cared about hot stamp foil until it was an option? Now they only buy reggae colors or
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's both, a little bit of both. Some people that, oh, once they discovered this is really nice, they liked it and they got addicted to that, and so not being able to choose was no longer an option for them. At the same time, there still are the people who don't like all the clutter, who that's too much decision for them. You know, the more basic, not usually the diehard, but most of our custom base is the more serious disc golfer, those who does care.
yeah, I guess, it's your niche, right? And I mean, I commend you on the fact that you offered that without a premium price attached to it. I mean, that again made it you so competitive. I mean, you weren't charging more for that service. That was crazy. And when I first heard about it, I was like, these guys are nuts. That's never going to work.
Idiot.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I mean, no, it's not idiot for the guy who's on eBay, who's like, I'm going to do something and offer these special foils individually because that person doesn't mind the extra 5 minutes of disc. But I mean, at scale, that process it just doesn't scale. Like, I mean, I want to tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah,
Like, I want to go back in time 10 years and tell you don't do it. It's never going to work. And it did. So like, hey, I mean, but that's also what successful entrepreneurs do. They take ideas that they believe in and just do them.
do a little different.
All right. So now that's something you're still doing with all your discs, and forgive me for asking, or do you offer stock as well for people that don't care?
Yeah, no, we do that with all our discs on infinitedisc.com. I mean, once in a while you will get a disc where, well, none of these ones. You know, we'll have 10 that look exactly like this, and in which case you take one picture, quantity 10.
Yeah.
And some brands are like that where there isn't a lot of variety, but it's still the same process on our website. We do also have an outlet store site, discountdiscgolf.com, that's absolutely simple. It's it's old school, but the prices are really cheap. But
Yeah.
the labor costs are very minimal.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, now that I'm making discs, we're looking at things that can reduce a fraction of a dollar per disc. All of a sudden, scales to being a monumental decision. Do you order specifically based on foil colors? Do you actually say, I need more of the red, white, and blue colors on my...
No, we don't, and none of the companies we buy from have been able to offer that. But the one thing we do, and we've always
Wait,
focused
no,
on.
wait, well, hold on, back up. None of the manufacturers offer this thing? Interesting. We'll talk
No, you got an option. But I mean, we have our own hot stamp machines, and even
later.
before we had hot stamp machines, we would do lots of custom orders. You know, the artwork where we would pay the artists, we would have them stamp, just so we would have the unique artwork on the disc, so that when we take the pictures, that's differentiation than just the stock stamp. So in a way, yeah, we would do custom orders to have the unique things that would show up in our pictures.
Okay. You manufacture discs.
Yes,
I,
yeah, we have a brand. We don't do any manufacturing.
sure. Well, we were talking about this earlier, like the differentiation between like I manufacture or I use third-party manufacturing is to 99% of people's irrelevant.
Yep.
You have a brand of disc called Infinite Discs. Um, we had the conversation where I said, I don't even know if Louisville Slugger manufactures their own baseball bats, nor would I care?
Right.
It doesn't matter. But why would you do that? What is the benefit to Infinite to having your own branded discs?
Yeah, it was a hard decision to decide whether we wanted to delve on this side because we were worried about our relationships with the other manufacturers. If they knew, oh, hey, Infinite now has their own line, we're not going to sell to them anymore. And that was a big concern in the beginning. The big advantage is for us because I mean, yeah, we still sell everything. We have like 77 different brands, I think, 78 with the new Stokely line that is coming out soon. The freedom it gives us is, I mean, there's manufacturers usually have certain requirements. The artwork that we can put on, they have to approve. The map prices, we can only charge at a certain price. And so having our own line gives us flexibility to do whatever we want. And so that's been a really fun thing with our creatives. I mean, we'll have more creative stuff with the Infinite line than any other brand simply because we can do what we want. We don't have to ask for approval from the the manufacturers.
I mean, that all makes perfect sense. In manufacturing discs, one of the fun parts is, ooh, I get to make decisions because it's been a lifetime for me of looking at other manufacturers going, well, I would have done that differently.
And
I'm so smart. Well, and we'll find out how smart I am, right? I mean, the market will determine if I was right or not, but at least I get to test it on my own terms. I want to know what makes you personally successful? Like, why did you build Infinite Discs when another small vendor didn't? And that's why I emphasize the fact that you start off grassroots, because if you had venture capital, well, that's this huge, advantage. But you started off boots to the floor. Like, why are you like why did you be turned into Infinite?
Yeah, a lot of luck being in the right place at the right time. The background I had, like I was making websites in the 90s when people didn't know websites. And so, I had that experience. I learned that search engine optimization, that online marketing when it was young. Um, and then because I was passionate, like it never felt like I was working. It was like, oh, I have this idea, let's do it. Putting 12 hours a day of work in when it's fun doesn't feel like work. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It would be a lot harder today to break in and be successful, but a lot of it was the time. And then, Discraft has grown so much since just in the last decade, let alone, from when you started several decades ago.
Right, disc golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, I get that you attribute luck. I mean, luck is always a factor.
Luck, hard work.
Well, I mean, it takes both, but nothing about you that's special that you think that stands out aside from the fact that you had a knowledge base from previous businesses that translated.
Yep.
That was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
What is Infinite gonna do next? I mean, do you just keep growing, or are you just happy to like now you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor a little bit?
Yeah, no, definitely a little bit. In a lot of ways too. Like it was so fun when I only had a few employees. Um, Now there's lots of employees and having to deal with big problems, dealing with governments of different states all over and their sales tax regulations. There's been times I wished we weren't so big. But no, I'm in a position now where I have great people and they handle a lot of the stuff that I don't want to deal with, which is really nice. And so I don't have any big ambitions from here. I'm not trying to start the next disc golf world tour or anything like that. But I mean, I'm a simple person with different values than most, and I'm pretty happy where I'm at.
No, I think that's great. I mean, a lot of times I've seen people, I mean, I've known people that spent their whole lives growing their business and never actually like got the reward of doing
Yeah.
something. And all they needed to do is stop. Like, how much more can you stuff under your mattress, right? Like, no, that's great. Well,
No, at the same time though, I totally find myself, it's like the growth is fun. It's a game
mhm.
in business. And so in a way we're still striving to do things better and different and
You like the
innovative.
competition?
So yeah, like the competition, like trying to be on top. But uh, you know, also in my life right now, I have 5 kids. Oldest is 18, youngest is 4, and they're my life. I coach ultimate frisbee. I like to attend all my kids' sporting events. And so, that's my priority more than anything right now. So it's rare this time of year that I spend more than 40 hours working, and it's great to have that flexibility to do the things that matter more to me.
Wow, family more important than career. What a crazy concept in the modern world. Actually, I think that's been one of the most common themes around Utah and Idaho.
Yep.
That seems to be an emphasis out here that seems to be working pretty well for you guys.
Yeah.
Is so there's nothing next on the agenda. Just gonna just keep the
Yeah.
keep it going and then just
Yep.
enjoy.
Yep, we're streamlining. I mean, the reality is that we grew in 21, 22, we peaked and we've declined. So now we have to be competitive again. We have to advertise more. We have to do things to stay relevant because we can't just rest on what worked before because disc golf, the industry is a little bit different. It is so much more competitive in the sense that there are so many more brick and mortar stores, which is good, which is so good for disc golf to have so many more local, but in a way that takes away from a lot of online business because people can
Sure,
shop local rather than shop online. So,
sure.
but that's okay. And we wholesale and we help distribute the Infinite brand as well as a few other brands too. And so that's another area where even though our online retail sales have declined over the last few years, we've kind of made it up in different avenues of the business.
That's wonderful. All right. Any plugs? Any new products? Anything new that's coming out or just came out?
Oh yeah, we have some exciting things that are going to be released Memorial Day weekend. So
What do they? Is there a mailing list
there
people
there's
can get onto?
there's a newsletter list or following us on social media. You'll find out we have some fun gimmicky type products that are going to be released as well as some really good deals. So and there's all and that's the fun thing about being a retailer. Everything new from any brand we advertise, we market. We're going to try to sell the most of every disc golf brand, including Stokely discs that we can.
Okay, I appreciate that. I wasn't going to plug myself on your interview, but I will take the plug. Thank you. Hey, you guys, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I can tell you that I've never heard a bad word about you. You have a great reputation, which you can't be successful and have a great reputation while not doing things correctly. It's impossible, not in this world. So congratulations on everything you've
I
done.
appreciate it, Scott.
I appreciate your time and taking the time and yeah, thanks. Hope you all enjoyed. Comment down below if you shop at Infinite and comment down below what you would like Infinite to do in the future to encourage you to shop there. How about
That's
that?
right. We're always making improvements. We can always do new things. So give us some ideas and we might be able to do them.
All right. Thanks, you guys.